Hi friends, welcome back and welcome if you're new. My name is Jess or Jeffy and I'm back with another episode of Pleasantview, 25 years later and a history of. And today we're covering Kailyn Langerak. So we're going to start with The Sims 3 and then go on to The Sims 2 of a history of, and then we'll go on to what she's been doing in the 25 years since we first saw them in Pleasantview. Okay, so we're starting with The Sims 3 because chronologically that's what comes first. Kailyn is first seen living in Sunset Valley as a child with her parents, Dustin, and I think it's pronounced like Ileana or Liana, I'm not 100% sure, as well as her older brother, Parker, and her maternal aunt, Zelda May. She loves to clean, which might explain why she became a maid later in life, and her family bio states that she likes to keep a clean house, unlike her brother, father, and aunt. It doesn't say about her mum. And she likes to paint when she's not cleaning up after everyone. She's got 4 points in the painting skill. Her traits are neat and perfectionist, and her favourite colour is white. She's also a B student. And that's her in The Sims 3. She's obviously living with her family as well. Her brother is messy. All of her family are pretty messy, to be fair. Then moving on to The Sims 2, because we're only really focusing on Kailyn. So she's one of the 3 pre-made maids that ships with Pleasantview. She's an NPC and she's currently working for the Pleasant family. And if you've watched the Pleasant's bit of this, you'll know that she is having an affair with Daniel Pleasant. There's no mention of her family and they don't appear in her family tree in The Sims 2, probably because she's an NPC and obviously it came out first and she would have been a child in The Sims 3. So they probably added her in because of that. But yeah, there's no mention of her brother or her rest of her family. She's a family sim and she has the star sign Aquarius and she's romantically involved with Don Lothario and Daniel Pleasant. If you have a little look, her relationship is higher with Don. So she favors him slightly. And she hasn't woohooed with Daniel yet when the game ships, but she has woohooed with Don. So you can see if you look at the memories from him, because obviously we can't straight away with her. I use the clean template, which is how I can get her into my household. I don't know if it corrupts the game otherwise, so I don't know. But she's done a service and a public woohoo with Don Lothario. And we can see that the first request of a public woohoo was rejected by her. But obviously later on they did. She's got skills in cooking and cleaning, which are both maxed out. And then she's got 1 skill point in mechanical, charisma, body and logic, and then 4 in creativity. And that's Kailyn. And then moving on to what she's been doing in the 25 years since we saw her. So following the affairs coming out with Don and Daniel Pleasant, she didn't quite know what to do with herself and she was really upset. She sort of thought one of them would leave their partners to be with her. She is a family sim, so she was really hoping that one of them would want to settle down with her. But unfortunately, that's 100% not what happened. She decided to move to the downtown district of Pleasantview with her childhood best friend, Ellie, who was looking for a new roommate. So they lived together quite happily. Kailyn continued to work as a maid and Ellie works within law enforcement. They spent quite a lot of time casually dating. Ellie's a lesbian and obviously Kailyn is straight. They both casually dated a lot and then enjoyed themselves sort of downtown the rest of the time with each other because they're best friends. One day they were at the house drinking Cosmopolitans and Kailyn actually ended up kissing Ellie. She said she wasn't entirely sure how she felt about it. Excuse me. She wasn't entirely how she felt about it, but they decided to go on a date and Ellie took her for a picnic in the park. And then they started going on a few different dates and it sort of just blossomed into a really nice relationship. And Kailyn realised she was bisexual but hadn't really realised it until later in life. She had no idea until obviously kissing Ellie and feeling things for Ellie, which is why she kissed her. So then a few years later, after dating and everything was going really well, Kailyn took Ellie back to the park where they had their first date. And on the bridge overlooking the pond, Kailyn actually proposed to Ellie and she said yes. And that's actually where they ended up getting married another couple of years later in a really intimate little ceremony, just the two of them. They exchanged their rings and their vows and that's exactly how they wanted it. They just wanted it to be them two. They then moved to a bigger house within downtown because they weren't really ready to move out the city. They didn't want to at all. So they bought their house together and they adopted a toddler, a little girl called Gabby, who they taught all her toddler skills to together. They carried on working in their careers and hired nannies to help them out with the sort of in-between stuff. And then they adopted a little baby boy called Ellis. Gabby is now a child and Ellis is now a toddler, and he is being taught 2 of his 3 skills, and he's just got 1 left to do. They also adopted 2 cats, and they renovated Gabby's bedroom recently to a downstairs basement room, so she's down there. She is a little bit of a rebellious little girl. Whether them putting her on the basement floor with its own private entrance and exit was a good idea is another thing. At the moment, because she's a child, it's all safe and there's like alarms and locks and stuff. But when she becomes a teenager, whether it just means that it'll be easier for her to sneak out, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, Kailyn's really happy. She doesn't regret anything that happened. She does regret certain aspects of it, but it's led her to where she is now, and she's really, really happy. She feels like she's made amends with different people. She spoke with Mary Sue a few years later and Cassandra, and they sort of cleared the air completely, and they're fine with each other now, because it was never really Kailyn's fault entirely with Don, because she didn't know about Cassandra, but she did know about Mary Sue, so that was on her as well. But yeah, she's happy. She's married. She's got 2 kids. Whether they adopt anymore, I don't know. At the moment, she keeps rolling the want to adopt, but also the fear to adopt. So I think a little conflicted. But that's where they are now. They're happy, and it's just a little quick update on them ones, but you'll have to see what happens for them in the future, because they will be part of the rotation. But yeah, I'm excited about it. And if you don't know already, I stream on Twitch 4 times a week. Every Monday, I stream my Uberhood, which is a Sims 2 one. It's different stories from what we've got going on here. Tuesdays is Zelda games. At the moment, it's Breath of the Wild. Then it'll be Link's Awakening. Thursday is Stardew Valley or The Sims 3, if The Sims 3 is playing ball. And on a Friday, it's my first playthrough Skyrim. So I hope you'll join us. I'll leave links to the Discord and my Twitch down below. If you haven't watched the other videos, please go and watch them. Let me know what you think. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, friends. I'll see you soon. Bye, everyone.